Guys, there is a new in-person scam event that is rivaling some of the biggest out there. Some people, myself included, are saying that it possibly even rivals the Fyre Festival way back in 2017. That was a music festival held out in the Bahamas, and it was a disaster. They didn't have food. People were they were hanging out outside in these tents and stuff. It was a bad experience. Now, earlier this year, there was another in-person scam event that people were comparing to Fyre Festival. It was the Willy's Chocolate Adventure or something like that. They couldn't use the term Willy Wonka because obviously that was copyrighted. They bought some props from like Party City, and then they had this really scary evil guy pop out and scare the little children, and then they give out a couple jelly beans and half a glass of lemonade. And that was a big scam event that a lot of people were covering earlier this year. But guys, there's a new event. Just happened just a few days ago. And in my opinion, it definitely rivals the Willy Wonka scam. And possibly rivals the Fyre Festival as well. So this new scam, which took place in Detroit, Michigan, was basically ripping off the TV show Bridgerton. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what that is, the majority of my audience is male, so you probably don't know. But Bridgerton is a show that's quite popular. It's on Netflix. It's popular with women mostly. And I'll read you a brief description as to what it is. The series is set during the early 1800s in an alternative London Regency era in which King George III established racial equality and granted many people of African descent aristocratic titles due to the African heritage of his wife, Queen Charlotte. The viewer is taken to observe the highly competitive social season where young marriageable nobility and gentry are introduced into society. So basically what this is like a modern day version of Pride and Prejudice. Most people have probably heard of that. But that's the Bridgerton show. It's on Netflix. They've had 3 seasons so far. They've had 24 episodes, and it is quite popular. It is so popular that Netflix actually has a Bridgerton Queen's Ball. Let me actually bring that up. So this right here is the Queen's Ball, a Bridgerton experience, and this is actually hosted by Netflix. They have this event. They've had it in different locations around the world, and a lot of women really like to go to this event. They pay a lot of money, hundreds of dollars, and they'll dress up in old-timey gowns, I guess you would call it, basically how people would dress in the 1800s. They go to this event. They play, 1800s music. They do 1800s dances and drinking and whatnot. And then they'll have the Queen's Ball event where they will pick one person who they think dressed the most appropriate to, 1800, who looks the best, and they will call her the Diamond of the Ball, right? And so this is the actual experience that Netflix puts on, and it's quite popular. But a couple, uncle and niece out of Detroit, Michigan, decided to do their own version of the Queen's Ball, a Bridgerton experience in Detroit, Michigan, and it did not go as well as they hoped. So one lady who went to the event posted a lot of pictures, which I'll share with you. Now this event initially was supposed to be in mid-August, and then at the last second, 3 days before the event was changed to September, just a few days ago, right? And so obviously all these people were upset that it was changed at the last second. The venue was changed. Everything was changed. And when they went to this event, it was a complete disaster. Basically, it was just a big empty room. You can see a lot of these women, they were dressed up in, 1800 style gowns. And they didn't really have anything to do. They were just kind of standing around, not really doing much. And as the event went on, things got much worse. The live music that they had said was going to be at the event turned out to be one lone violinist who was just standing in the corner playing by herself. And then they announced that they were going to have backdrops and decor on party. And then what you actually saw was they had just 2 big, crown-style seats to sit in. And then they had a backdrop, a green backdrop of leaves that looks like something that they bought off of Temu. And that was the main photo op that people could participate in. Just stand in front of this green fake backdrop right here, take pictures like this. Now, they said they were going to have food at the event as well. And many people described that it was that they had to wait about an hour or more to get the food. And then when they got it, the chicken was actually raw. And a lady who was actually serving all the food, she was just a lady wearing a football jersey, which has nothing to do with the 1800 style Bridgerton event that was actually taking place. Now this part actually is my favorite right here. The dancing, as I showed you with the Queen's Ball, I showed you some footage from that. They're, they go all out in that type of experience. Great dancing event, great music, all of that. Now, the dancing they had at this event turned out to be just one stripper. Now, I'm going to have to actually block part of this out, obviously, because it is YouTube. But what's really interesting is listen to what actually the lady in the background says while they're watching this one stripper. I don't remember this in Bridgerton. Again, because that makes no sense at all. The entire show is based around 1800s London, and for some reason they invited one lone female stripper to be to be the dance entertainment for this event. I don't understand why they did that at all. And here's the thing, the majority of people who went to this event were women. So at the very least, like if you're gonna hire a stripper, hire a male stripper for all these ladies. Like why would you hire a female stripper? I don't understand that. It makes no sense at all. And I don't know who I feel more bad for, the people that paid for this event, probably them, or the stripper that had to show up and do a strip routine for these people who had no interest in going to an event to see a stripper. They went to a Bridgerton event to see this 1800s event, and they got this one lone stripper standing in this giant ballroom all by herself. That was definitely a choice that they made.
It's been 2 days since the Detroit Bridgerton Ball took place here at the historic Harmony Club, and people who are excited to be here, super fans of the show, say there are still so many unanswered questions, and at this point, they just want their money back. For Pedro Soto and his newlywed bride,
she was really excited. She went by all this stuff for her outfit.
Sunday night at the Detroit Bridgerton Ball was meant to be a celebration after eloping the day before. Instead, the couple and hundreds of other superfans of the Netflix hit show disappointed.
We had to reuse cups, not enough plates. The backdrops were just paper.
The event since going viral on social media after event planners at Uncle and Me LLC promised attendees who spent hundreds of dollars on tickets things like valet parking, horse and carriage rides, a play, ballroom dance lessons, and more.
This is truly a horror story.
Now, this event, which cost between $200 to $1,000, depending on which package you bought, was a complete disaster, and literally everyone is trying to get their money back, and potentially there's going to be a lot of lawsuits. We'll go into who actually ran this event in a second, but they actually offered, they said initially they were going to have a $2,000 prize giveaway at the end of the event, because like everyone dresses up in 1800 style dresses, and they were going to pick who was the best dressed and give them $2,000. Now that never happened. On top of the raw food choices, on top of the stripper event, on top of it basically just being a hotel with nothing aside from a bad tea mood backdrop of some leaves and stuff like that, this event was a complete disaster. They also had a horse carriage that initially was there for the first hour, and then apparently they didn't pay them enough to stay for the whole event, so the guy with the horse and carriage just left, and people were like, I wanted to go on the horse carriage ride, and they couldn't do that because the person left early. So like I said, this event was a huge disaster, and a lot of news organizations around the world, even the BBC, is actually talking about how this was a massive disaster, and the people who ran the event are actually kind of going into hiding, and we're going to break down just exactly who that was. Now, I did my research, and I actually found a lot of information as to actually who was behind this actual project. Now, the people who ran this scam, they have decided to remove themselves from the internet. They're taking down all the web pages, but you can use Wayback Machine and you can find a lot of this information. So the original website for this event was called DetroitBridgertonBall.com. Now, if you go there now, the website no longer exists, but like I said, you can use Wayback Machine, and you can see it was originally, there wasn't really much there. It was 2 pages. It had Detroit Bridgerton themed ball, Regency era dance, step into the enchanting world of the Regency era at the Detroit Bridgerton themed ball. Join us for an evening of sophistication, grace, and historical charm. Experience a night like no other, filled with music, dance, and exquisite costumes. I will give them the fact that it was a night like no other. I'm sure everyone that went to that event will never forget it. Now, like I said, there's not much on this page. The second page is Detroit Bridgerton themed ball, where you can buy the tickets. Obviously, you can't actually buy the tickets now, but there's not really a whole much there. Now, if we actually do some research, we can see that the company that ran this was actually called Uncle and Me LLC, right? And you can actually find a little bit of their information. They still have an Instagram page up where they actually have a promotion for the Detroit Brawl still up. You can see right there where they have a woman dressed up all nice in a 1800 style dress. So this is their actual Instagram page promoting this, but there's not a lot there. Now, if we go to uncleandme.com, this is another website that they have since shut down. But again, we can use Wayback Machine and we can pull up their Our Story page so we can see who actually ran this event, right? It says Our Story, Uncle and Me, was founded by uncle and niece team Jeremy Scott and Chelsea Beard, who initially partnered together learn about business with two separate successful small businesses, Queen LLC and Holistic Herbalism. The team wanted to develop a platform for other small businesses to learn and become successful with real life, real-time learning and networking opportunities, so they created these seasonal branded pop-up shop events. Motivated by the passion of the diverse business owners, Uncle and Me is continuing to create opportunities for business owners through growth, development, and the excitement of shopping. So these are the two people, Jeremy Scott and Chelsea Beard, who ran the Bridgerton scam event. Now, I've actually done some research. I can't find a whole lot on Jeremy Scott, but I did find a lot on Chelsea Beard. I found pretty much everything. I'm not going to show like her Facebook because she is a mother. She has a lot of kids and posts pictures of them, so I won't show that. But she does have a Linktree page, and that actually links to a lot of her social media pages. And one of her businesses, which is still in business, is Holistic Herbalism, right? Now, I don't know I would actually buy anything from this lady. It looks like a kind of in-home type, making products that aren't actually approved for by any type of regulatory boards. She posts a lot of like holistic products. She has some sort of like tea that she sells to new mothers who aren't producing enough breast milk that she says will allow them to produce more breast milk. This is her whole website right here, Holistic Herbalism. She has a YouTube page, not many subscribers, where she talks about boost milk supply overnight. And she talks about how she hosted one of Detroit's largest pop-up shops. It's basically just B-roll footage. It doesn't really go into too much detail as to what it is. But you can see this lady is the actual lady, along with her uncle, who ran the Bridgerton scam event. Now, pretty much everyone who went to this event is trying to get their money back. And I think it's only a matter of time before this lady and her uncle end up getting sued for this, which is why she's trying to remove all evidence of the Bridgerton event. They took down their website. They took down their LLC website. But this whole Bridgerton scam, in my opinion, is far worse than the Willy Wonka scam that was earlier this year. That event, the parents were spending a lot less money on that for the kids. Obviously, it was a terrible event as well. But in my opinion, this is worse. Serving raw chicken, having tickets that cost $1,000, and you get basically nothing other than standing in front of a green board, and you can take a picture, and you can see a stripper for some reason that has nothing to do with 1800s Bridgerton. I don't know. I personally think this is one of the most interesting scams that has happened in a while. And I do think these people will end up getting sued. I think Netflix potentially will sue them as well, because I don't think they had any rights to actually have a Bridgerton event, which is completely owned by Netflix. I don't think they had any rights to do that whatsoever. But there you go. That's the Bridgerton scam event that took place in Detroit, Michigan, run by the Uncle and Me LLC. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this scam. Do you think these people will get sued by Netflix? Let me know down below.